People joining the live stream now. Let me know if you can hear us okay. We are live from Parliament Square. I'll tell you all what's happening in a second. "12 people in the house within a couple of minutes, within less than a minute." That's really good. Do you see Big Ben in the background? Let me just get that so you can see the Elizabeth Tower, not Big Ben. Sounds muffled. Oh. Turn the volume up on the mic if possible. Let's. Okay, does that sound any better, guys? If not, I'm going to have to take something out. Let me know. I've got 2 microphones, I've got 2 cameras. Let us know, guys. Sounds worse. Maybe if I can... What I'm trying to do, this is the DJI mic that I've got connected. Does that sound better or worse? Let us know. We're setting up early anyway, nothing's happened yet. That's a bit quiet. Can hear you but muffled and a lot of chatter around you. I'm going to plug this in. Let me plug this in. I'm going to plug that in and see how it sounds. All audio, well, hold on, it's giving me a message here. An external mic is connected. All audio output from media sources can be streamed or only recorded via the mic. So I don't think my external mic's working. Is that much better? Can you hear me okay? Brilliant. That's good. Right. Excuse me. 2 cameras here. Got a tickle in my throat. Right, I'm going to pull that down a little bit. Okay, drop of water. Sue's down there, you can't see her.
Hi everybody.
Okay guys, right. We are in Parliament Square in London. We've spent all weekend with a group called Public Child Protection Wales. Okay, the founder of that group is Kim Isherwood, and she's drafted a bill for Parliament to safeguard children from the RSE, the Relationship and Sex Education. And there's been international speakers. They had a conference in Newport, or Cwmbwan actually, in Wales, and they had an international speakers talking at this event. Come on, Kim, I'm talking about you. We've got 67 people so far, and we've only been there for a few minutes. Okay, tell us a bit about your organisation, Kim. Let's get a bit closer.
Yeah. So we are Public Child Protection Wales. We do exactly what it says in the tin. We are the public protecting the children in Wales because the government are no good at it, basically. So we first started off opposing the sex education. We uncovered that all 4 governments in the UK adopted comprehensive sexuality education in March 2017 with the view for legislative changes. So what we saw was Scotland printed horrific lesson content. Wales brought in the legislation first from age 3 to 16 with no parental opt-out, and England sandwiched in the middle. So this was a preventative campaign. We took the government to court. We argued for parental rights, but they successfully argued parents' rights do not exist. So from there, we've set up the organisation, we've legitimised it, and we are now have the view to get into their playground and turn into our playground. But today, we've actually come to Parliament. We've written our own child protection bill that we want to bring in, and the Member of Parliament has said he's going to put it forward as a private member's bill, which tends not to become legislation. However, it will raise the public profile, and they are forming a cross-party group in Parliament right now off the back of our visit today.
Amazing work, right? And if you want to see what Kim and her team does, you go to their website, which is publicchildprotectionwales.org.
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's it,
Is there anywhere else they can find you, Kim?
Yeah, so on YouTube, PCP Wales. We're not very active on there right now, but we're going to up our game. And Facebook is where we're most active, Public Child Protection Wales. We've also got another group on there called Education, Not Sexualisation, and that's where you guys can join. You guys can post. It's a private group, as private as it could be, and you're free to talk however you like on there.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, I hope you've got all that, guys. Just to let you know, you might have seen the video. Sue actually let everybody know that she had a hip operation. She's been walking through London with a walking stick. Here she is down there. There you go.
Still got me crutch. This is more to trip people up and whack them around the ankles though if you get in your way.
Yeah, okay.
That's the idea of it.
Yeah, that's it. Right, guys, so we'll keep this live stream going because there's going to be lots of speeches and things happening. Kim explained exactly what they've been doing. She's an absolute powerhouse, Kim. And I think everybody's scared of her because she just doesn't give in. So enjoy London, guys. This was was a little bit unsure up until yesterday whether we'd be able to make this because of other commitments, but we committed to it, and this is the result. So there's going to be some great speeches. We've got speakers from New Zealand, two from America, so Texas, Indiana. So in Indiana, there's the Kinsey Institute, and a lot of this comes from Alfred Kinsey, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about this guy, Alfred Kinsey, because he was a wrong-un, and basically he said children were sexual from birth. So that speaks of his intention straight away. And him and his institute are behind a lot of this relationship and sex education that are going into the schools. So we had a lady over from Indiana called Rhonda. I've recorded all these speeches and they're going to come to the channel as well pretty soon. Who else did we have? We had two people from Ireland. Janna London, and we also had what's his name? Eugene Gavin. And these guys have been excellent in connecting the globalists, the global organisations from the United Nations through to the Rockefeller Foundation, including Hugh Hefner's Playboy. Who else were connected to it? Yeah, but George Soros, obviously, I've talked about that. I found out yesterday as well that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has given, I think, $2.3 billion to fund gender ideology in schools. I didn't know that. So I'm going to be researching and talking more about that. But I recorded their talks at the annual conference, which was Saturday, and they're all to be uploaded on the channel. So all that is to come, guys. I've got lots of work. But bringing all the information about gender ideology to you guys on this channel. So spread the word. I'm trying to arm you all with knowledge.
Don't forget the links to Epstein as well.
Yeah, there's links to Jeffrey Epstein and everything. It was fascinating. I always said it was top down, globally coordinated, and all these speakers on Saturday, they put so much meat on the bones. It was amazing. I might have to take this off. It's so hot. Right, I'm gonna have to get my shirt out. Whew. Sweating. Oh, thanks, sweetie.
Okay.
Thank you. David Kurten's here from the Heritage Party. Do you want to say some words, David? Or
Yeah, sure.
we're live streaming to people.
Okay.
If you want to.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
David's
Hello.
so tall, I might have to lift this up a little bit.
You can only see my chin.
How tall are you, David?
That's not a good view, is it? I'm 6'3"
Right,
and a half. Yeah.
and you're nearly a foot bigger than me, actually.
I didn't know. Okay, well, no.
Sorry to interrupt. You're live streaming it out to you today?
Yes.
Are you live streaming so I can go your Twitter handle?
I think it's live streaming right
at
now.
Judge148, but it's live streaming on YouTube.
So if I
Edge
click
of the
it,
Matrix.
I'm going to share it out to everybody.
Okay.
Now. So let me find. I have. followed
1
you
second,
yesterday.
guys.
So if I just type in.
Sorry, David.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm trying to get a live.
Yeah, okay.
So I was
We'll-
just jumping in.
we'll-
Live YouTube Edge of the Matrix.
Edge of the Matrix, yeah. Right, let's do it, David. Do it. Okay. So David Kurten is the founder of the Heritage Party.
Yeah.
Tell us all about the Heritage Party, David, and just go for it. Go for it.
Okay, yeah. I started the Heritage Party in 2020 after, at the end of my time on the London Assembly. So you might have seen me when I was questioning Sadiq Khan for 5 years
Right.
in London there. But yeah, I started it then at the beginning of the lockdown COVID period. Because I thought the country needed a socially conservative party which is founded on Christian principles, stood for traditional family values, free speech and liberty, equality before the law, financial responsibility, and all kinds of things that everyone thought was common sense about 30 or 40 years ago, but seems to have gone out the window completely with all of this lot in the building behind me in what I call the Unit Party. Doesn't matter whether they're Tory, Labour, Lib Dem, Green, they're all the same. So that's why I started the Heritage Party. The main focus really for the first 2 years was being part of the freedom movement, because that was the biggest issue in the country at the time. Obviously to fight against lockdowns, to fight for medical freedom, medical autonomy, make sure people didn't get kicked out of their jobs because they didn't have a jab, and all these horrible things that were going on. But we're here today because I'm supporting Public Child Protection Wales and what they're doing to protect kids from the trans agenda and the sexualisation of children in schools, which also is another massive thing that's going on. And that was started by the people in the building behind me in 2017 with the Children's Social Care Act. That act had a clause in it that said all children have to study relationships and sex education in England, which is the branding in England of comprehensive sexuality education. It's a global programme which has been rolled out from the World Health Organization, and it is absolutely disgusting and harmful to children and abhorrent, and I stand against the sexualisation of children in every way that is being done. It's just perverse and disgusting, and it has to be stopped. Which is why I'm here today.
Yeah. Fantastic. And you've got you're getting a strong presence in Wales now because people are standing for Wales. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. That's very exciting, as we've been standing in elections for years, for 6 years. This is our 6th election cycle. This year is the Senedd elections in Wales. If you don't know, that's the Welsh Parliament. And for the first time, we've got candidates in every single seat in an area we're standing. So there's 16 constituencies, we've got 16 candidates, one in every seat. So wherever you are in Wales this year, if you're in Wales, you can vote for the Heritage Party. That's very, very exciting for us and the people who are standing for us as well.
Brilliant. And finally, where can people find you online?
So heritageparty.org is our website. There's wales.heritageparty.org is our Welsh website. We're also on X, on Facebook, on Gab, on Telegram, and on YouTube as well.
Right, brilliant. Thank you so much,
Great.
David.
All
Brilliant.
right.
Thank you,
Really
mate.
good to see you,
Cheers.
Steve. Yeah, cheers.
There you go, guys. Now it's gone cold.
Yeah, no, put your jacket back.
Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
1 minute it's too hot, next it's too cold. I'm just keeping my top on.
Yep. We've got 113 people in the house, guys, which is fantastic for a Monday afternoon. Are people watching from work, or are you watching all around the world where you finish work? We've got a lady from New Zealand called Penny Miller as well, so it'll be late on in the evening now, won't it, in New Zealand, bedtime. So. Oh. Big Ben's stuck at 12 o'clock. Oh, sorry, Big Ben's the bell inside. It's called the Elizabeth Tower now. I get told off for that.
When did they change it? 'Cause it's always been Big Ben.
Big Ben's always been the bell. And wasn't it called? I don't know what it was actually called before, but it changed its name to the Elizabeth Tower quite a while ago, apparently. Oh. Hello, everybody. Howdy from Texas, but in Thailand. That's from Ron Matsko. Ian Clark, how are you doing, Ian? Christine Meadows, I'm watching from Chesterfield in work. Nice one. Who else? Polly Pickett's in the house. Boiling Frogs in the house. Amanda Foy, UK Rising. Her of Kovac. Thank you for joining us, guys. Should be kicking off pretty soon. How's the audio sounding?
We are in live. Me too, I am in the live.
Are you in live? From where?
Yeah.
How many people are watching? 4,800. Awesome, guys.
And you?
Not many at the minute. We've only got 121. This is just going out on YouTube. Come and say hello to. What's your channel?
What?
What's your channel called?
This.
Ryan 5G. 5.G. Right. Okay.
If you want, you can follow here.
Yeah, we'll do. Follow him.
And you what is it?
So my channel. Can I tell people about mine and what we do?
What?
I'll tell you about my channel and what's going on here. This is Public Child Protection Wales. All right. They're standing up against the sexualisation of children in the schools. Yeah. 1 second.
Thank you for the gift.
Là, ils vont croire qu'ils vont aider plein d'enfants, là, alors qu'il y a juste des clochards qui devaient pas eux, mais toi.
No.
Oh, that's not. That's part of it. I don't use that one. Follow that on YouTube. That's Instagram, isn't it? I don't put much on Instagram, but if you follow it on YouTube, it's massive. Have you given them a card? Yeah. Follow it on card. Okay. So, how's the audio, guys? How's the audio sounding? Let me know.
You're not going to believe what happened to me. They left my shoes in the house. I had to get the car and put my shoes on. I just bought these or something.
Good audio, thank you guys. I'm testing this out as well because we're going to be live from the Unite the Kingdom rally. The only issue I've got is that we can't charge the phone as well as have the good audio. So we'll just see how that works out. I'll just make sure on the day that I've got a really good power bank and I'll have to unplug the audio as and when needed. Oh God.
Chilly now.
Yeah, it's gone from really hot and sunny to quite cold and cloudy. So we might get some rain as well. We'll see.
There's no rain forecast. We're not having rain.
Someone says 5G. I don't. Yeah, it said something 5G on that lad's Instagram account or TikTok or whatever. I don't think it was any relevance to the 5G towers or anything like that. That's okay.
I was told to ask you for the live stream link and I was on a mission.
We hadn't even started. It's all right. But yeah, it's no worries. It's all right. Oh, brilliant. Thank you. So we're live streaming on. There's a lady called Janna London. What was Janna's organisation called? Can't remember. No, it was the Women's
Natural Women's Council.
There's the thing, guys, for all those people watching. Check out the Natural Women's Council, Janna London, London, L-U-N-D-E-N.
How are you feeling?
I might have to bring you a bit closer because there's people gathering. There's a bit of a crowd gathering, that's why I've had to bring them forward a little bit. Oh. Oh.
Oh, don't come near me. That's always the official reason.
I've brought my boards with me, but I've not put them on today. Not yet anyway, because I don't want to draw any attention away from Kim and what Kim's doing. If I put the boards on, it could be that the focus of attention is on me and the board, so I've not put them on today. Not yet anyway, let's get the speeches done and everything first. Let's Go has just joined the house. Live stream. So if you go to Edge of the Matrix on YouTube, it'll be there. Right. Yes. Oh, good. Yeah. Come on, if you want to be on it.
How are you?
Yeah, good. This is Lucia. Lucia was the co-founder of Public Child Protection Wales. Along. Sorry,
and the other
I could get along with Kim and along with Joan. Yeah. So tell us a bit about what you've been doing.
Oh God! Well, the last couple of days, last couple of days. So Saturday we did an amazing conference.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Kimberly did organise the majority of that. Got lots of brilliant people together, including some fantastic speakers from all over the world. It was just very insightful. It was very insightful, like hearing about like what these magnificent people have been doing in their own countries, and like what they've achieved. There's been so much achievement, like with sort of like them going to court, standing against bills that are harmful, particularly with towards children. So it's refreshing. It's refreshing to hear so many success stories. But the fight has still got to continue because there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah. How did it go today in Parliament? Did you go in today with Kim?
I didn't go in.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was on the bus with my Welsh buddies and that, and I was on. I didn't go into the.
It was an early start, wasn't it? What time did you start today?
I got on the bus at 7:15, so not too bad.
Right, okay.
I've had earlier.
Some people were up at 5 o'clock, weren't they?
Yeah. So some people were up earlier, but great journey down. We had a brilliant bus journey, so can't complain about that.
Yeah, brilliant.
And, here we are in Parliament once again.
Yep.
So we've had a couple of rallies here at Parliament Square, and as usual, whenever we come, we always see that there is something that goes on that sort of interrupts us going onto the grass. And today it's the sprinklers.
Yeah, got all the sprinklers out there. Yeah.
Last time we were here, we actually booked Parliament Square, and there was a load of workmen working here, so we had to actually tell them to stop working whilst we had to do our speeches. Right. So there's always something when we come down here.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Lucia. Thank you.
Welcome. Lovely to know. Yep. Lovely to see you.
Yeah. Cheers. Lucia, if you go back to the earlier videos on the channel, I did an interview with Lucia and Joan as well, so check that out too. That's a year ago now. Do you want to say hello to people, Sue? People like to. Sue's hiding in the distance. Come on, Sue.
Bring the important people in.
You're the most important person to me.
Well, so I may be, but nevertheless, it's not my gig.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down a lot because of my leg.
Yeah.
Just,
tell people what's happened with your leg. Go on.
I've had a hip replacement surgery three weeks and 4 days ago. So
yeah just over 3 weeks, and she's walking around London now with just one walking stick.
I've got my crutch with me. Also to be used as a weapon, of course, if anyone gets in my way.
Hello from Lincolnshire. That's from Salty Dog 666. Neo 2024. Keaton Stone, how you doing, Keaton? Long time no see, mate. Ian Clark saying, bless you. That's Keaton. Keaton Stone.
Keaton.
Yeah.
Hi, Keaton.
Keaton was a whistleblower on Mohammed Al Fayed in Harrods.
Harrods, yes.
And revealing what that man was away from his public image.
Yeah.
So he made a great documentary, Keaton, so you can check that out, guys. Keaton Stone. Put your YouTube channel on if you want, Keaton. Let people know. I can feel the rain.
Oh God. At least I've got a waterproof jacket
wow.
with me. What's that?
Harry Cat, thank you so much for the donation.
Now,
Okay, thank you.
Let's get out.
Right, guys, we're going to start. You don't want me in the middle between me and the speakers.
That's yours.
Ah, we're going the other way. We're going the opposite way round.
Hang on a minute.
Right. Can you go? Excuse me a second. Are you sure?
Yeah, can you manage the 2 cameras?
Yeah, I can get those. Right. So. Okay. I'm not going to stay in front of the camera, guys.
Thank you for
coming.
There we
go.
We've had a very early morning. We've had a few hiccups along the way, but I think it's all turned out okay. We made it into Portcullis House in time for our meeting. I feel like it went very well. I'm not going to name the MP just yet because we don't want him to get any backlash. We want him hopefully to move forward with what he's kindly said he might do for us. So we've got some wonderful speakers here today for you. You're going to hear from all the international guests from around the country, around the world. They'll tell you what's happening in their countries. You've got some experts here to give you some background on where this whole RSE curriculum comes from. So we're going to get started without much further ado, and we're going to ask, where's Audrey? Audrey, would you come first? You don't have to stand on the bench. This is Audrey Werner. She's from America, and she knows a lot about where this RSE curriculum comes from. So here you go. Thank you, Audrey.
I don't have to stand on the bench. I might fall off. Well, it's an honor to be here today. I come from America, and my background is I was a sexually transmitted, or first I was a sex educator. I was the one who taught kids sex education in schools. I did that for 5 years, and then I moved on in my career to work in the STD HIV clinic. And I had been told in my sex ed training that parents aren't doing their job, so I need to go in there and do it for them. I was also told that if I go and talk to kids about sex, I'm going to decrease the pregnancy and the STD rates among the teenagers. So I thought, well, I can help parents out. And once I moved to the STD HIV clinic, over a 9-year period of time, I saw things getting progressively worse. And it seemed like the more sex education we were doing for children, the earlier and earlier they were becoming sexually active. For example, in 1991, the typical age of first sexual contact was 16 years old. By the time I left in 1999, it was not uncommon to hear 10 years old being first sexual contact. So that challenged me because I realized I'd been lied to and deceived. And I thought, wait a minute, where did sex ed come from? Who developed it, and what was the intent? So as I did the research, I found a man by the name of Alfred Kinsey, who was considered the father of the sexual revolution. He did sex studies in the 30s and 40s, and his works were published in 1948, Sexual Behavior in the Human Male, 1953, Sexual Behavior in the Human Female. His data was not objective, it was rather subjective. He had an agenda. He believed in anything goes. He believed rape was a myth. He believed that infants could have sex with adults and there was no harm. He believed incest was fine, and he basically anything goes. He'd be very happy with where we are today. So as I found this, I thought, wow, this is pretty important. Kinsey's work was used, I say in America, and this is really true no matter what country I'm in, whether you're in law, education, medicine, the military, or the church, you have been affected by Kinsey's science. It shifted us all as nations away from God. America is a Christian nation. We're one nation under God. And so there was a plan to shift us. So Kinsey's science was used to shift us. But Kinsey's science was also used by the UN. He was given consultative status in 2013. So now his science is being pushed into all countries. It's being taught at the university level. It is being taught to our teachers, who are then turning around and teaching our children. And the goal was never to decrease the pregnancy or the STD rates. As a matter of fact, we've seen it skyrocket in America. At the exact moment we put it in, all of a sudden the rates were like this, and then they go way up. So the intent was to sexualize children, to prepare them for sex with adults, to prepare them with sex with each other. And so, as we know, there's been great harm from that. There is an explosion of depression. There is an explosion of suicide among our young people. The STD rates have skyrocketed, teen pregnancy. Single-parent families has exploded because the traditional family has fallen apart because of all the damage that was done to children. It's hard to move on and live a normal life. So I am honored to be here to be able to first speak at the conference. We spoke to somebody in Parliament today, and God's just continuing to open doors. I will tell you on a positive note, I was asked to go to Uganda and to speak to some pastors there, and on my way there, God opened a door for me to speak to Parliament members in Uganda. And I presented the information that I normally present, and at the end of it, Uganda's Parliament decided not to sexualize their children and to not put comprehensive sex ed in their schools. And that was in 2019, and to this day, they still have not put it in their schools. And the Minister of Ethics and Integrity there, Dr. Nasaba Buturo, got up and he said, "Professor Warner, never have I heard such a talk." He said, "In our hearts we knew it was wrong, but we didn't know why. You just gave us the why." So I encourage you to get educated on Alfred Kinsey, because he has affected your nation just as he's affected our nation. And we need to repeal anything that is based on Kinsey's science, including comprehensive sex education. So my name's Audrey Warner. I'm from the Matthew 18 group. It's matthew18.org. Tons of information on there. So thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Brilliant speech, and thank you for coming down to Wales. Audrey was our first. Oh gosh, everything's flying everywhere. Audrey was the first of our international guests who spoke at our conference Saturday as well. Brilliant work, absolutely incredible work, and such a pleasure to know you, Audrey, along with everyone else that we're going to hear from soon. So our next speaker has also flown from very far, and she's from Indiana. Indiana is actually where Alfred Kinsey had been in university and studied at university and done his research there. So as Rhonda will tell you more about that. So if we just have a massive round of applause for Rhonda Miller. Woo!
Thank you. It is a real honor to be here in the downtown London area. Never in my wildest dreams did I figure I would be in here, in this place. So it's a real honor to be here. So yes, I was born and raised in the state of Indiana, and for most of my life I had no idea that Indiana was home to one of the most notorious pedophiles to ever exist. Many people right now are focused on Jeffrey Epstein, and I keep telling people we had in Indiana a pedophile long before Jeffrey Epstein ever existed. So we moved to Indiana shortly right after World War II, or near the end of World War II, came in as a zoologist, and before long he launched into sex studies, collecting information and data from pedophiles, prostitutes, and rapists all across the nation. So I will tell you, many Hoosiers do not know, and that's what Indiana people are called, as Hoosiers. Hoosiers did not know that they were then responsible for funding the Kinsey Institute. So I made it my mission, as I was mentored under Dr. Judith Rees-Smith, was Audrey, and I promised Judith, I will not relent until we take that institute down. So I went on a mission to not only repeal Indiana's obscenity loophole, which allowed our schools to distribute pornography, because those laws were instituted as soon as Kinsey's books were published, and he was sent out, paid for by the Rockefeller Foundation, protected by our Central Intelligence Agency. They used the university, in my opinion, as a place to demoralize America, right in the heartland of the country. So I had made it my mission to first target the obscenity exemption loophole. It took me 3 years in a red state to do that. Same year, we worked with a freshman legislature legislator, sorry, and we amended our budget. We have a biannual budget in the state of Indiana. We amended the biannual budget and for the first time ever defunded the Kinsey Institute. But it did not come without a price. That lawmaker was targeted. They went after her with a vengeance. She no longer gets her bills heard. And so that comes at a price to do, okay? So what they've done is they have now determined that they are going to fund it through the Indiana University Foundation. So we are in the process of trying to figure out, okay, how do we go after that foundation? And the governor of Indiana currently was given the authority to take over the Indiana University Board of Trustees. So I am calling on all Americans, all global people, to help me. I need to go after the Board of Trustees. Because not only did the governor take over the Board of Trustees, but then he appointed 2 more IU Foundation people to that board, which tells me he doesn't intend to do anything with the Institute. And I'm determined we're going to address it. So I'm asking, as I did Saturday at the conference, for all of you to help me go after IU. You can go to their website, you can go to the Kinsey Institute website, and you can send emails to the Board of Trustees. I'm asking you to do that. I'm asking you to tell them what exactly Kinsey Science and Fraud and Crimes has done to your children, to the children of the world. Because all of us united can do it. We can take it down. I will give you some hope, because as we've worked through the process of doing it, we've also worked through, in America, repealing some of those laws that were put into place based on Kinsey. States after state are repealing those obscenity loopholes, which is allowing this pornographic material into the schools. State after state now is also implementing death penalties or life sentences for those who rape children. They also are, state after state, implementing anti-grooming laws. So little by little, America is taking action at the state level. However, that institute still exists. That institute still feeds out pornography. It still feeds out perversion. It's throughout the university, and it is throughout our entire nation. And because of the consultative status, you are also paying the price. So I'm asking you to join with me. Go to the website of Indiana University, contact the Board of Trustees, and contact the Institute itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rhonda. So, yes, she knows a lot about Kinsey, and she takes it to heart because it's her home state that she's found out this all comes out of. So, next we have a lovely lady all the way from New Zealand. She's only done a short flight to be here with you today. This is Penny Marie from Let Kids Be Kids, New Zealand.
Hi everybody, it's amazing to be here. Who has been to New Zealand before? Anybody? Okay, so New Zealand is part of the British Commonwealth. It is under the Westminster system, so we're under the same system that you're under. And who here thinks that we're in a true democracy? If we were in a true democracy, our MPs would be able to vote for what they think is right. So when I came over to Wales to the conference, what I spoke about was the conversion practices ban legislation, which is what the activist groups here, the LGBTQ activist groups here, are pushing for getting, and they're saying that we need to have it in law. In New Zealand, we had that law put in 2022. And the fallout of that is that now in New Zealand, in countries like ours, where that law has come in, parents, therapists and pastors can't help children who have been indoctrinated with the sex education curriculum in schools. So once that law is in, you've got an uphill battle. So I was able to share how I could show that the conversion practices legislation that they're trying to push in is a strategy from the United Nations. They've been working hard on the strategy since at least 2018, and they will not give up. They have funded, the LGBTQ activist groups are funded by the government to lobby the government. In New Zealand, we had 120 MPs, and when this legislation went through, only 8 of them voted no. Some of those MPs were threatened with death threats. Their families were threatened. They were maligned and hated online, and they were bullied. Does that mean we live in a democracy? No. So we need people like you and people like us to stand up and speak the truth and say what's going on. The reason that they, the way that they shut us down is that they say that we're hateful bigots, that we're transphobes and homophobes. We're not. We don't want badly of those people, we want to help them. Okay, the reason that they have to shut us down and they can't have us say things and we can't book halls and things like that and we don't get in the media is because we speak the truth and it's common sense. The truth doesn't need defending, it just needs to be heard. So I just want to thank everybody that's here today and the amazing groups at Too Much Too Young and Public Protection Wales, Public Child Protection Wales for putting on this event, and please support them. Please follow our work and please share it. The thing that everybody out there can do, if you don't want to stand up in front of a microphone like people like us, is to share, comment, tell others, invite your local mums or grandparents around for a coffee and get talking to them about the research that the likes of all of us have put on file to help you understand. Like Audrey said, we knew it wasn't right in our soul, but we couldn't quite pinpoint it, and you've given us why. So go and look at the research that we've done and share it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Penny. Brilliant. Thanks very much for that. So that was Penny from New Zealand. I got it wrong in the conference. So our next speaker has flown from quite far, but not quite as far as Penny and our American counterparts. We have our next one, who is from Ireland. And this lady is the founder of the Natural Women's Council. So I won't speak much more because she'll tell you about the magnificent work she's been doing in Ireland with her organisation. So can we have a massive hand for Janna London?
I don't think I dare to get up on this bench with my heels on today. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janna London. I'm founder of the Natural Women's Council, but my most important role in life is being a mother. And I have 2 small children, and there's no way that I'm going to hand my children over and blindly trust the state, who is clearly harming children in all of our institutions. So I'm delighted to see so many people here in London Parliament Square from so many different backgrounds, so many different countries, but there's one thing that unites us all, and that is protecting our most precious, our most vulnerable people in society, and that's our children. The Natural Women's Council started a few years ago with 5 concerned mommies when they were trying to erase mother and woman from the Maternity Protection Acts, because obviously the word mother is not inclusive and it's offensive to those men who apparently can chest feed. We won that battle, but fast forward a few years, we've been really deep diving into the education system and where this is coming from, and now we have, after starting with 5, nearly 100,000 parents in Ireland in our networks across our group and the groups we work with. And hopefully most of you here today can agree on one thing, and that is that childhood is sacred. We only get one shot at childhood. We can't rewind it. There's no undo button. We get one chance to get childhood right. And children can suffer all sorts of abuse. There's physical abuse, sexual abuse, and what's happening in schools is emotional abuse, psychological abuse, grooming them for physical and sexual abuse and normalizing that. So we joined up, we all met in DC back in October, and thanks to a lot of you who supported the travel, we all met with our international task force that we formed, because a lot of us are looking at where is this coming from. We look to the left, we look to the right, and sometimes the last one to see the water is the fish. All we really have to do is look up. This is a global assault on our children coming from the unelected bureaucrats, the United Nations, UNESCO, World Health Organization, World Economic Forum, and all of these global bureaucrats that do not care about our children or our family values. And if there's one thing we can say to all of them is that our children belong to us. They do not belong to the state. I'm a mother and my children belong to me. So we joined an international task force with New Zealand, Australia, England, Wales, Ireland, US, Canada, and we're growing every day to become an international force. They can ignore one voice, They can't ignore hundreds of thousands of us around the globe, and that's what we've just formed. So we're asking thoughtful questions, we're asking reasonable questions, and a lot of you may fear that if you speak up, you're going to be labeled, smeared, vilified, or threatened, like many of us have. But if there's one thing that any of you should fear, all you have to do is look in the eyes of a child. Look at that beauty, that purity, and that innocence. And if there's one thing that you should be afraid, it's that that's under assault. You should be terrified of children losing their childhood, to adults pushing their confusion, their ideologies, and their fetishes onto them. That terrifies me more than any name or label that I've been called. We also have to watch the language that's being used. We're told to be kind, inclusive, progressive, and move forward with the times. I don't think it's kind to tell a child they might be born in the wrong body. When I gave birth at age 41, nearly 11 years ago, I looked at my child and said, they are perfect, as I held them in my arms. The doctor came up to me and said, I need to take your baby to count their fingers and toes to make sure there's 10 there. I said, I don't care if there's 10 there. My child is perfect. Nearly 11 years later, I still see my child perfect as nature and God made her. So how did people get from 10 years ago to thinking the child was perfect to now the government's told them the child is born in the wrong body? How do we get to thinking children are sexual from birth? So we need to get back to reality and get back to common sense. Don't worry about being hated. That might mean you're over the target, because if people hate us for standing up for children, then that must mean that we're doing something right. George Orwell once said, the further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it. So if anybody hates me for protecting children, that's okay. So it's not kind to mutilate children or tell them they're born wrong. It's not inclusive to try to shut down dissenting voices. And it's not progressive to let men, confused men in dresses, into my daughter's toilet or to beat her in football. So today we're drawing a line. Today we're drawing a line, not in anger, but in commitment. A commitment to children, a commitment to women, a commitment to families, and a commitment to having open, honest dialogue. Conversation does not belong to one country alone. And more people are starting to ask questions. The truth is out, and it cannot go back in. More people are choosing to speak. And this is a call to action for anyone listening. It's a call to action to parents. You need to stay informed. You need to look in your children's books, and if you're not happy with it, you need to have that tough conversation because your child depends on you. That's your job. We call on grandparents to make your voices heard, and to teachers, neighbors, and citizens, don't assume that someone else will take this on. If not us, then who? And if not now, then when? When it comes to our children, we will stand, we will speak, we will not be silenced or bullied. Not tomorrow and not ever. So thank you all for having those conversations and taking action.
Thank you very much, Janna. Some very good words there. And yes, we do need lots more people involved. Now we've got a lovely lady for you to hear from next. She was a teacher. Are you still a teacher, Linda? She's still a teacher. So without any many more words, I'll pass you over. This is Linda. She's from Ireland. Are you part of the Natural Women's Council as well? You are. You are.
Hello everybody, I'm really happy to be here today. My name is Linda Darham and I started the Irish Education Alliance. I'm a primary school teacher and I just felt it in my heart and soul that this is so wrong to be teaching our children about gender ideology and also the over-sexualization of our children in schools. I had to speak out and speak up about it. It started when the children were masked in schools, and when my own children were masked, and it broke my heart, and that started my journey. And when the mask came off, I thought that's the end, but then this education, this overly sexualized education and gender ideology came into the school curriculum. And as a teacher, I cannot stand by and see this content being taught, this indoctrination of our children happening, and this over-sexualization. It's also happening in libraries, for example. This book is gay. Is a book that's in libraries in Ireland, and I'm sure here as well, for 12-year-olds. People might say, oh, that's homophobic to be saying anything against this book. But in this book, the content is pornographic. It is so bad that I won't read it right now. It explains about hand jobs, blow jobs. It explains about anal sex, and also it explains about an app called Grindr, which is for over 18-year-olds, and this is in libraries for 12-year-olds, and it's also connected to the school curriculum in Ireland and probably here as well. Yeah, it's in a booklet for parents to give to their children who may be confused about their sexuality. So it's in a booklet from the HSE, which is the health service in Ireland, and so they will believe, oh, that's, since it's from the government, it's from the Department of Education, it must be the right thing to give to my child to read. And because we trust, we're too trusting, and no longer can we trust our government to our children. They are following, and they are heading to complete what the Agenda 2030 is telling them to do, and our children are just pawns for that agenda. And we need to stand up and say no, parents and teachers. A lot of teachers are oblivious to what the content is in schools. They don't know, they don't want to know about it, and if they do know about it, they may say, I'm never going to teach it. But that's not the point. The content is there, it's in the books, children can read it. I mean, they already see it online, and schools should be saying what's online is wrong. Yeah? But these schools and libraries are affirming what the children are being indoctrinated with, this social contagion online, and it needs to stop. And the more parents and teachers that stand up and speak out about this, the stronger our word will become. We just have to say no, and I can see it's very challenging for teachers because our jobs are at stake. We get cancelled. I've been cancelled from many schools because for speaking out, and it is very difficult. But we have to think about the children. They are the most important. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Linda. Brilliant speech. So yeah, I was just going to sort of say about this book here. I've read a couple of abstracts from you here, and it's mind-blowing. It's disgusting. It's actually pornographic. So this book was actually recommended by one of the councils up in North Wales in teaching books, the library books and teaching books in the schools. So we can't trust any of them. Ireland's got it, but well, we've all got it bad all over the world. Every single country has got slightly different things going on in their curriculums, but it all comes from the same thing. So if we stand together, fight together, then we will move mountains. So thank you, Linda. That was brilliant for your talk there. So our next speaker now, our next speaker is a politician. He's the only person, the only party that has supported us from the very, very start. You all know him, David Kurten from the Heritage Party. So massive hand for David. Woo! And you definitely don't have to get up on the bench.
I better not get up on the bench. There might not be much bench left after I get up on it, actually, to be honest. Thank you so much, Lucia. Yeah, I've been fighting against this for a very long time. Before I got into politics, I was a teacher myself. But I haven't been in a classroom since 2016, and when I was a teacher, this wasn't really much of an issue because all of these things have come in the last 10 years. in England and Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland, we have relationships and sex education, which is the branding in the UK of comprehensive sexuality education. It came in England in 2017 through all of the people in the Parliament, which is over there behind the cameras, through the fake conservatives, as I call them, introducing a clause in the Children and Social Care Act, which required all schools to teach this relationships and sex education. It came in Wales through the Labour government in the Senedd. It came in Scotland through the SNP in Holyrood, and it came in Northern Ireland when the Northern Ireland Assembly was out of action because they were all arguing with each other. But the Conservatives, so-called, in England pushed through the Northern Ireland Act, which required it to be taught in schools in Northern Ireland as well. So we've got this in all 4 areas of the United Kingdom through various political parties. But I call them a uniparty, because they're all acting together and they're all imposing Agenda 2030, which this is what this is part of, and the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, and of course it's all tied in with the World Health Organization too, and much of the matrix that tells schools what they have to teach as part of relationships and sex education is published by the World Health Organization, and it was done a long time ago in 2006 in documents going back that far in history, if you like. And some of the things they require children to be taught are quite perverse. From 0 to 4 years in age, they're supposed to be to learn about and to try to think of words which are not too perverse. Self-stimulation and touching themselves, and I don't want to use anything more explicit than that, although that is explicit for 0 to 4-year-old children. And this is what they voted for. And some of the MPs and some of the politicians in the Uniparty are bad and wicked and perverse. Others of them are just stupid, and they just go along with what they're told, and they don't look into things and scrutinize things properly, and because they don't, they let these kind of things happen, and they wouldn't want their kids to be taught about it. They might home educate their own kids or send their kids to independent schools, but they want everybody else to be taught about it, or they just don't care and they don't look into it. So our job here is to raise awareness to the millions of parents around the country who, when they find out what is going on in schools, are absolutely horrified and disgusted, as you are here, which is why you're here, which is why you're out and you are protesting and you are in organisations fighting for our kids' innocence. And I thank you all so much for doing that, and for everyone who's involved in the fight to keep our kids pure and innocent and to restore the innocence of childhood that has been taken away by politicians and activist teachers, because not all teachers are innocent. Some of them are. There's a lot of teachers who don't want to teach this stuff, who don't teach it because they teach other things. But there are increasingly activist teachers going in, and they think they've done a good job when they queer a child. That's what they want to do. That's their aim. It's sick and it's perverse. I can't believe anyone would want to do that. But there are people who do that, and that's what we're up against. So it's really a great honour and privilege to stand here on the stage of Public Child Protection Wales and Too Much Too Young, and to be with you as you fight for children. Now we need to take action politically as well. We're here and we act in schools, you act in schools, you act in the media, you tell people what's going on, but we need to actually boot out the Uniparty so they don't ever do anything like this again. So we reverse the bad things that they've done, and we never ever let this happen again. And so obviously, you know, I'm in the Heritage Party. 2 of our policies are that we will completely scrap and abolish comprehensive sexuality education. We will repeal the Gender Recognition Act 2004 and scrap and take out the whole concept of gender from law, because there is no such thing as gender that is different to biological sex. There are two sexes, male and female, determined by your anatomy at birth and your chromosomes. There is nothing else but rubbish. I would nearly swore then. Anything else is unscientific rubbish. And we will also implement and try to bring into Parliament a Hungarian-style law that protects children from promotion of LGBTQIAPP+ ideology, so that they are not subjected to that, and they can be kids, children can be children, kids can be kids, and they can maintain their innocence. Now, we are in the end of April here at the time of this event. As always in the UK, there are scheduled elections in the first week of May, and I'm so excited that in Wales we have a full slate of candidates, and many of you fantastic representatives of humanity and decency in Public Child Protection Wales are standing for election to the Senedd in Wales, and I'm looking forward to seeing you get in there and kick some bottom. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you all. Keep up the fight.
Thank you very much, David. It's a pleasure to hear from you as always. Now we've got somebody very special next. A few years back when we were here in Parliament Square for our rally, Billboard Chris turned up from America. Now today we've got... Is he Canadian? Oh, he is, sorry, yeah, Canadian. Well, today, sorry. Yeah, it's your job, Luigi. Today we've got our Mancunian version of Billboard Chris. This is Steve James. He goes around the country with his billboard and has discussions with people. So I will now pass you over to him. You can hear what he has to say.
Right, unlike David, I'm going to have to stand on here because I'm quite small. Yeah, so I wasn't the original person to start doing this. I saw Billboard Chris Elston online, and I thought, I can do that. So I actually reached out to Chris and I said, have you got any advice, because I'm going to do what you do in the UK, and he gave me 4 pieces of advice. The first one was to remain calm. The second one was to know your stuff. Now, Chris is an absolute guru, and I've learned a lot from Chris. My knowledge isn't as extensive as his, but it's getting there. I've been doing this a year now. Chris has been doing it, I think, 5 to 6 years. Hopefully we'll have conquered this gender ideology in another 5 or 6 years. I don't want to be doing this that long, but let's see. I will do it if it's needed. So the third piece of advice was to film everything, and the fourth piece of advice was to let them speak. And you don't have to be the best debater in the world. I'm surely not the best debater, but when you're trying to argue that a woman cannot have a penis, you don't need that. You don't need to be that good in linguistics to be able to win that. And I don't think I've lost an argument yet. But I was a former firefighter, and in fact, if I didn't, it's been ingrained in me. If you use the term fireman when you're in an interview to join the job or to get promoted, you will not get in the job, you will not get promoted. That shows how this ideology and this gendered language has infiltrated the institutions. So in 2018, the fire service brought out a new appearance policy, and there was one line in that appearance policy that got my attention, and it said, we recognise each employee's right to come into work and identify in whatever gender that they wish, and that could include no gender at all, non-binary. And I was like, WTF, what the hell? What the hell does this have to do with the fire service? But nobody was interested because it was that way out there. Nobody cared how deep it actually runs. So it got me to look into it, and I come across this this Marxist ideology called the Long March Through the Institutions. Has anybody heard of that? Yeah, well, if you've not heard about it, it was thought up by a man called Rudy Deutschke, and he was a student of Antonio Gramsci, who was an Italian Marxist. And it says, how do you change a society without a revolution? And it says you infiltrate all the institutions. So, and I saw that infiltration in the fire service, and as we're seeing, they're doing it in the schools as well, and they've got it in the police force, it's in Parliament. Just look at the Green Party today. They're a bunch of useful idiots that are pushing gender ideology, you know, throughout society as well as other things. So they're nothing to do with being green anymore. So you have to tell people what the Green Party are all about. They're basically useful puppets for the globalists. And part of it is to introduce this gender ideology into the schools. You may have seen in one of my videos, I did confront Hannah Spencer in the middle of Piccadilly Gardens. I was running after her with these boards flapping in the wind saying, Hannah, can a woman have a penis? I got quite a bit of abuse online for doing that, but I think, you know, as an elected politicians, we should be able to challenge these people. Anyway, I won't keep you too long. As I say, my name's Steve James. I've got a channel called Edge of the Matrix on YouTube. If you want to follow what I do and see how ingrained this ideology has become in some of the people that walk amongst us, please watch that channel and you'll be able to see that. But I also try and educate people as well. We're live streaming as well to some of the followers on the channel as well. So my whole the whole remit of what I do is to raise awareness of this amongst the general public, because the more the general public know about how crazy it is, the sooner we're going to stop this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. That was incredible. And yes, we've got our own Billboard Chris in the UK. Woo! You're doing an excellent work raising awareness, and yeah, well done to you. And thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being at our conference as well. So that's brilliant, excellent, doing incredible work. So our next speaker, you all know, if you've been following us, you all know our next speaker. She's a big part of Public Child Protection Wales. In fact, a huge part, because she does the majority of the research. So you will know her. If you live in Wales, you will know her. You will know, because she's always doing lives. She started out her activism, if you like to use the term, with the dangers of the pharmaceutical industry, namely vaccines. But now she's really thrown herself into research into why pornography is damaging, sexualization of children, what it's causing. She's incredible. So I'm not going to say anything else, because I'm just going to bring her to the stage. So can we have a massive hand for Cat Watkins?
Oh, thank you, Lou. Hello everyone, it's good to see you here. We've had a really good, productive weekend actually with the internationals over. And you know, a lot of them have already said much of what I would say anyway, but I will add, you know, from Rhonda and Audrey specifically, because they spoke about Kinsey, and I know the ones who know me know I speak a lot about Kinsey, and I do a lot of the research for Public Child Protection Wales, in particular the sex industry, in terms of how dangerous it is, the sexual revolution and the history of it, which includes Alfred Kinsey obviously being a main influencer in that, as well as the likes of John Money, the sexual revolution in the 60s. But we've already heard a little bit about Kinsey, so I'm not going to talk about that, but I will say that myself, Kim and Joan are obviously, we did our training to become RSE teacher trainers, so we know that all this is going on, but sometimes you need to be in it to really know what's going on. So I put myself forward to do the training back last year. It was an online course, and I did it because we need to be in these institutions, and this is the only way to know, really, even though we see what's coming out of it, our children are coming home and telling us, we know what's going on, but I wanted to know what they are actually teaching in those schools, and it was absolutely horrific. I don't suffer, you know, I don't suffer from headaches. I did this course, and it was like quite an intense course, And I was really the only one on this course coming from a safeguarding perspective. We had someone from the adult industry, the porn industry, somebody who was a content creator for Love Honey, is it the people who make sex toys? You had, non-binary, you had, and they were all coming from a really sex positive point of view. So I know that all of these people that were on that course with me are going into schools and delivering this education to our children. These are the types of people, the sex positive. And obviously a lot of my work is surrounding the dangers of pornography, and I can't explain, if anyone wants to watch a presentation I've done. Thank you, thanks. If anyone wants to watch the longer presentation, I've got it, it's probably on Public Child Protection Wales, or it's on my website, so I won't go into detail, but I can just say this: I know the effects that pornography is having not only on society as adults, but on children, and it is absolutely destroying their minds. And when I say that, I mean because of what we do, we have people who come to us and they tell us what's going on, confidentially of course, where they've walked in on their two younger children in a sex act because they've been exposed to pornography. And I know for certain that in the secondary schools in particular, they are definitely using Kinsey's work. It was part of the training I had to do. I zipped down, doubled down, turned off my camera, turned off the microphone so I could just get through it, because what we need to do is we need to get into their playground. It's very, very difficult to try and fight it outside here, very frustrating. So at least now the three of us, and actually Penny from New Zealand did the same course as well, at least now we can, so what the schools are doing, I don't know if people are aware of how this is being delivered. It's not being delivered by your teacher, so to speak. What they're doing is they're employing third-party organisations that are unvetted, unregulated, and they're coming in and teaching your children with their resources. They're sex positive, really they're so depraved, it's unbelievable what they're teaching these children. But what we can do, and we've decided to do it, is what we call RSSE, so it's relationships and safe sex education. So we can now produce our own resources from a safeguarding perspective as opposed to a sex positive perspective, and take those into schools. The difficulty that we've got, obviously, though, guys, is funding. These big organisations have got all the money in the world. They're backed up by all the organisations behind them. They've got all the money in the world. We're just individual people with no money, no funding to try it. But that's the only way we're going to get in there, guys. We need to get in there and turn it around from that perspective. Like I say, we know what's going on. It's highly dangerous. I won't go into the porn industry here because it's quite explicit and I don't really want little ears picking up on it. But if you go on my website, exposingthelie.info, or if you're on my Facebook, Cat Watkins, K-A-T Watkins, it's pinned at the top of my page. It's about an hour and 20 minutes where I go quite deep into the effects of pornography on the brain and why it's not only is it dangerous, it's creating offenders. It's creating abusers because of the desensitization process that it's doing to our children. This happens in adults, by the way. So we're talking about children who haven't even got it. Their brain is not fully developed, so it's being wired to a certain way. And this is why we're having more abusers, more victims. The abusers are younger and younger now, and the victim is younger and younger. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for listening. And thank you to everyone who's come out today as well. We've had a brilliant weekend, and we couldn't do it without the support. We just couldn't do it. So a massive thank you. Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much, Kat. And we're in the Welsh section of our show now, and we have a lovely lady for you to hear from next. This is the one and only Joan Ginsburg. She's going to get something. Oh, water.
Thank you so much to everyone for turning up. It's just delightful to see so many faces and such trust in what we do. And everyone has been so generous towards us over the years. So just a massive thank you for our public support, because it's from the public that things are going to change. It's not going to be from upstairs, it's going to be from us, and it's from getting the word out, and that is the only way, unfortunately. I think we can knock on as many doors as we like, but they're going to get shut in our faces because we're facing a regime, I wouldn't even call it a government, that is actually by now very, very brazen. And they're taking chances with us, they're taking chances with human beings, human lives that have never been taken before. So, and you all feel the tyranny. I certainly feel the tyranny. So I just wanted to say that 57 years ago, lordy, I came to London, just down the road from here, to King's College to study Spanish and Portuguese. And prior to that, I'd studied French and Latin and German. So by now, at that stage, 1969, think about it, where was the word gender? Where was the word gender? Well, it was in my college, it was in my school, and only on the subject of language. Language has genders. For example, anyone who's done French knows that it's a gendered language. Oh, la table, for example. La is feminine. Le whatever. L'oiseau. Le, we've got la, we've got le. La for feminine. Le for masculine. And it's very, very important. Grammar is very important. You mess it up and you're going to get laughed at. And that was the only place that language actually, the word gender was important. I didn't hear it in my family. I didn't hear it on the street. I didn't hear it from my parents. No one used it. It was a niche word. By now, where is gender? It's everywhere, and it's everywhere and anywhere. It's in places it shouldn't be. It's become a mutant. And who made it a mutant? Well, some very unpleasant ladies in the UN, militant feminists, that pushed it through in 1993 or so. They had their way, they bullied, they demeaned, they redacted actual documents in order to get that word gender through. Goodness knows why. It was important to them. It was important to their agenda. And if you're interested in the way that the word gender suddenly became the rage, the norm, well, you can read a little book by Dale O'Leary called The Gender Agenda. So it became a mutation. So by now, gender has become a standalone word, meaning whatever you want it to mean, the way you feel. And the way you feel is much more important than any science, any logic, or there's absolutely no description for the word. The way gender has creeped into everyday lives, and it shouldn't be there. And I'm here to tell you it was a linguistic word. It had no other purpose, and by now it's a monster. And it's done some very heavy lifting, and it's got us where we are now, which is in a place of confusion. And it's so bad that if you Google LGBTQ action plans, you will find them everywhere, and you'll find very, very interesting reading in the documents. Those documents come from the police. They come from unions. Every single trade union has got its own LGBTQ action plan, including the education union. And what kind of things can you read when you look at these documents? You'll be surprised. Okay? So here we go. National Education Union Trans Guidance. Use the curriculum and this is a guidance for teachers, obviously, in classrooms. Use the curriculum and activities, such as assemblies, to challenge stereotypes based on sex and gender. Celebrate LGBT History Month, Transgender Awareness Week, and Transgender Day of Remembrance. In class, do not use boy-girl seating. This increases stereotypes about gender and could cause distress for trans students. Trans students seem to count far more than any other student. You might think a student in a wheelchair might count more because of their disabilities. You might think that a child with deafness or learning disabilities might count more, but no, they've been given priority. And then you've got teachers who are actually told that if they want, they can order a pride crate. A pride crate. So they've got banners, they've got leaflets, they've got all the paraphernalia, they've got glitter, and they are being actually encouraged to go out on the street in Pride Day. Do we really want that for our children? These teachers are being encouraged to be activists, and they're encouraging the children to be activists. Don't you think that's quite a disgrace? And I want to end on one thing, the police union. One thing that the police union, actually, it has its own guidance. It's called Trans Guidance of the Policing Sector. Now, individuals who identify, this is what they say, as gender fluid may require 2 cards. This is policemen, policewomen. They may require 2 cards to reflect their gender on different days. We've got police misbehaving. We've got police that are getting paid on their time off to transition. And if you think transition is easy and you think that it's an easy, quick journey, it isn't. They're being allowed to do this. And with they're being allowed to do it, and we're paying for it. That's the joke. And we're paying for clearing up the mess that this gender ideology actually causes. Therapy, people need therapy. People get into a mess with their operations are unsuccessful, and their heads actually become so messed up that they're not functioning human beings. So the word gender has done a lot of damage, and I really I'd just like everyone to have a look at LGBTQ action plans and see what you think for yourself. Where's the logic? Why is our money going into this? Okay, and that's all I've got to say on gender, and that is why Steve is such a hero of mine, because he knows, and I hope everyone else here knows as well, society is never going to be the same ever again if this madness continues. We've got to stop it now, because it's seeds everywhere. It's a tragic situation for our children.
Woo, well done, Joan. Joan, you're getting quite emotional then, I can see with the answer. Angry. Thank you, Joan. As always, brilliant speech. Joan is a encyclopedia of knowledge. Gotta say, she's a very wise lady. So our last and final speaker of the session today, this lady, you all know her. She works tirelessly to produce safeguarding training advocacy training. She goes into schools with parents. She produces a lot of work, does a lot of research herself, and she organises all these magnificent events. She's incredible. And you will be hearing about like what her recent feat is in the next moment or so. So can we have a massive hand for Kimberly Isherwood?
Hello everyone, how are you doing? So I'm not going to talk to you about the problems today because I've stood here hundreds of times telling you what the problems is going on. So what I'm going to talk about is what we have achieved over these last 6 years. So in January 2020, I discovered a crime in our government. Our government were legislating for comprehensive sexuality education from age 3 to 16 with no parental opt-out. Fortunately for us, I knew what comprehensive sexuality education was. So it took me seconds to find this reference in our documents. And as you can imagine, I already knew what was going on. I did not need convincing it was bad. My stomach dropped, the colour drained from my face, and I knew something had to be done. During this time, there was a consultation period going on. So we took part in the consultation, and 87% of respondents did not want this education. What did the government do? They brought it in anyway. So we did a petition. And in this petition, we added links of evidence. And I added a link of sexual and reproductive rights of the children. The government did publish this petition, but they changed our link to a pro-abortion website. I went absolutely nuts, and at 8 o'clock in the night, I made them remove that link from our petition, which made a mockery of it. It didn't make much sense. So we started collecting signatures, and back in those days, we only needed 5,000 signatures for a debate. But they phoned me up one Thursday evening, they said, if you don't get 5,000 signatures by Monday, it goes up to 10,000. We asked why? Why? Oh, you know, we're changing things and you were different. We were different. They didn't write to us, they just informed us at 8 o'clock on the Thursday night. We only had about 1,000 signatures at that point. So over the weekend, we worked hard. We worked very, very hard, and we achieved those 5,000 signatures for that debate. So the debate came. I submitted 17 pieces of evidence to the committee. They sat there acting like they didn't know what was going on. We don't know what's misinformation and what's not misinformation, they said. But they had 17 pieces of evidence. And if they cannot decipher from that evidence what's real and what's not, they shouldn't be in such an important job. But that's another discussion for another day. So what they did during this petition, they said, what we're going to do, we're going to put a watch and brief on it. They were going to keep an eye on it. Okay, fair enough. But 8 months later, I found a document online. A document that the Petitions Committee had published stating it was misinformation. So did we leave it at that? No, we didn't leave it at that. We took them into court. We took the government to the High Court in Cardiff. 5 of us went in, 5 claimants, different backgrounds, different issues. Myself, I'm a criminologist. I took in the evidence of comprehensive sexuality education. We had a Christian family go in. We had a family, a mother of a 3-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted by a 15-year-old who had been watching porn. He was addicted to porn. So we had different stories. We had different ways, you know, around this. But we were looking to prevent harm to our children. But the courts don't do prevention. The courts will only do harm. So even though we successfully argued this was global, it was comprehensive sexuality education, it was in all 4 countries of the UK, we actually lost the argument on parental rights. They successfully argued that parental rights in education do not exist. And if they did exist, they would be absolutely minute anyway. So did we stop there? Absolutely not. We're not going to stop there. So from the court, we just built ourselves up.
like Catherine said. We took on extra training, extra qualifications, different registrations. There was absolutely no way we were going to let this go. We were going into their playground, turn it into our playground. And that's where we are now. Since then, we've developed our own child protection training, institutional child sex abuse. We have piloted it across Wales. We've trained over 100 people, and we are now, our work is now being signposted to charities in Madagascar. We are in the process of developing our own resources, RSSE resources, relationship and safe sex education from a criminological perspective for sexual safeguarding. Biology and chemical exchanges during sex. Real stuff that will properly educate our children and keep them safe from harm. Our training educates people in a way, we provide them tools so then they can look at the RSE using the tools that we've given them, and they can see exactly what is wrong. So from there we started conferences of our own. We come across an international group that was just being formed. We flew across the world to Washington DC to join the internationals to deliver a bill at Washington DC, and you guys helped make that happen. And here we are today. We've flown, well, we didn't fly them, they flew themselves across the world to join us in our conference on Saturday. It was a fantastic day. The information that people are now armed with, the contacts they now have, the networks that we've made are absolutely phenomenal. So that was Saturday. Sunday we had a day of podcasting, filming and interviews and a lovely dinner together. But here we are today in London. What are we doing in London? We are doing exactly the same as what they did out in Washington DC, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is a global problem which needs a global response, and that's what we are doing, the global response. It started with one small group of people. It's going to end with one small group of people, simple as that. So this international project that we have launched is off the back of Rhonda, Audrey and Judith Reisman's work, where they have submitted a bill called HR 2749. Us here in the UK, we've taken their bill, we've kind of tailored it to the UK, and our bill is called the Child Protection and Research Ethics Bill, which will look at all resources going into our schools, go for the primary sources of this stuff, look at the data set, and if the data set is built on unethical acts such as the sexual abuse and rape of children, it gets scrapped. So that's what we're doing here today. We've come to Parliament, Portcullis House. We've had a round table meeting, a full hour with an MP. He's taken on board 2 bills that we have developed, one exactly like the American one and one a little bit toned down, but it does the same job. So we've taken that in to Portcullis House today. We had a meeting for an hour, and the outcome of that meeting is pretty good. The MP is going, after a little bit of work, we got to do a bit of work first, that MP is seriously considering putting our bill through as a private member's bill. Now, private members' bills, like he said, they rarely become legislation. Okay, they rarely become legislation. However, it's going to raise the public profile. There will be debates in Parliament. That is footage for us, guys. That is mainstream stuff, tools that we can use. It's not about smashing it in one go. This is a huge agenda. It's about building on it. Building up, getting these tools, arming people with information that they recognise as genuine. And sometimes that comes in the form of politics and unfortunately the BBC. So we will be getting questions asked, there will be members' debates, they are going to put it through as a private member's bill, plus they're going to form a cross-party group where we, England, Scotland, America, Ireland, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, we will all be working side by side, shoulder to shoulder, head to head, and we will be driving this project forward
regardless what the outcome is. This is a fantastic tool, ladies and gentlemen. This is a huge, huge step. So as you can see, guys, we are achieving things. We are going nowhere. We started this with one small group of people. We've raised tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds to take the government to court. We didn't have a penny in the bank, but look at us. We've achieved it. Here we are now, pulling this off. We developed training. We're producing resources. We will never back down. Did we start off like this 6 years ago? No, we did not. We had 5 people outside the Senate during COVID. 5 people on a phone. 5 people on a COVID fine going into court, defending ourselves. We started with just 5 individuals. And every day we're getting bigger. Every day we're getting louder. And every day we are making moves that people can recognise. And I think the most powerful move that we've made this year, because I can't say it's going into Parliament because this is last year's project from the American ladies. But I think the most powerful thing we've done this year, we've decided to join the Heritage Party and tackle the Senate elections. Not only are we tackling the Senate elections, we have actually achieved something massive. This is the first time in the history of the Senate that a brand new party has come to Wales, stood in the Senate elections and filled every single seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made history off the back of our children. We have made history for our children. We are making history to challenge the comprehensive sexuality education. And as a result of that, we have a party election broadcast being aired on the BBC on Friday at 5 to 7, just after the news and weather. We were on ITV last night. We didn't see we haven't got a TV licence. We were on the BBC radio on Friday. We've got Jason on BBC Evening News tomorrow, David? Tomorrow. So we are doing it, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm absolutely delighted to say that a big, massive round of applause to David Kurten. Not only has he given us this platform, not only has he allowed us to join his party, but ladies and gentlemen, this fine man has made me the leader of the Heritage Party in Wales, which gives me the platform we need on mainstream media. And that's what it's about, guys. You never give up. It's not about winning in the first go. You're not going to win in the first go on an agenda like this. You've got to fight them at every single level. Take part in their consultations. Do your petitions. Take them to court with no money. That's what this is about. We can do it, guys. We are doing it. We stood here years ago, just a few of us from Wales. Then we joined England. We formed the UK coalition. Now we're part of an international task force. We are going nowhere. This started with one small group of people and it's going to end with one small group of people. And that's all I've got to say, guys. Thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for giving us the confidence, giving us the encouragement, giving us the tools that we can give back to you guys, give you something to fight with. This is not over. It's not over till the fat lady sings. I'm not fat and I'm not singing.
Right, I think that's it from us today. Feel free to mill about, look at the leaflets, look at the books, chat amongst each other. Yeah, we're past our time and we've got to get packed up. Have we not? Oh, we're all right. Right, so yeah, we'll be here for a while to chat if anyone wants to come up and chat and look at the material. Thank you all very much for listening to us today. And that's it from me.
Sorry.
Can everyone just come over for a nice photo against these steps so we can get one with as many people as possible in, please? Thank you.
Now, but Steve has got his boards on, so he's been asked for photographs of various things.
I've just got to do a video for Zenon. Let me put this on this side.
You're being difficult. Keep being difficult.
Yeah, okay. And It's all because he wouldn't accept what they were teaching, the gender ideology stuff.
He's got ADHD.
Right, okay.
So they're trying to put him in the separate classes.
Right.
Where there's a furry.
Okay.
And and all of this other stuff, and he's just kicking off, and he's.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it with.
We're not having the men can be women, and so they keep moving him all that.
Right.
So, but his mum's like, I think it's great because
Yeah.
at least he's not.
Okay. Guys, I'm just going to do a quick video because there's a young man called Zenon, right? And he's not taking any of this nonsense at school. Okay. Is that close enough? Are you recording already?
Yeah, I'm recording already.
Zenon, it's Steve James here, Edge of the Matrix. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I've just been told that you're not taking any of this nonsense at school, and it is nonsense, and I'm glad that young people like you can see that. So keep standing up for what you believe in, okay? And don't back down against them. Keep it up, mate. Oh, we're having a picture, guys, so let's put this in. I'll keep this with me. I'll come in. I'll go at the side here. There we go. I'll go at the end. I'll go at the end. That's okay. Oh, sorry, sweetie.
And then they got a camera
Okay.
on my nose.
Yeah,
then.
sorry. I've got to be here so somebody doesn't run off with them.
Yeah. I see you with a few, that's why.
I don't know all of them.
She's got to turn the camera around, turn the phone round.
As they all walk in front of the camera.
Yeah. You got to walk on part. He's like, yeah. Okay, right. I'm going to get my boards off now, guys. Thank you for joining us. I won't cut you off just yet. There's 105 people in the house. Should we go? I'll go and take my boards. I've done it already. Right. Yeah, done it. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Oh. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Is the audio still good? Just let us know. Does Zenon have a brother called Halogen? Yeah, so that was a young guy, apparently. He's got ADHD and he's been put into classrooms with furries and non-binaries and stuff like that. And he's been having none of it, which is nice to see. And he watches the channel, so that's good. The audio's good, fantastic. It's kind of like, we're trying to have a bit of a run through because we're going to be live streaming the Unite the Kingdom event, which is sometime next month. I can't remember exactly when. Is it about the 16th of May? I think so. So, thing is, I can't charge the phone the way I've got this set up, so I might have to do a bit more practice because I don't want to lose. Obviously, I've got the length of an iPhone battery, and then that's it, it's run out. So that's the international team in the background, guys. All the speeches are to come. It was a fantastic event, and the lady that you've just heard talking, Kim Isherwood, as you could tell, she's an absolute force of nature.
Oh my God, it's like every second going, oh, just want to read the bag, beside you.
Right.
I think class was really interesting, actually. And I love these little kind of experiments. Ryanair. Oh, did you hear what I said?
We flew with Ryanair back in the last year. And
Okay.
I know they've only started it though. The ruling has only started.
No, it started when we
Yeah, you've got to have a smartphone to get on Ryanair. I know, that's what they're trying to tell you. I know.
And you know what, we asked the guy going in, and we said we don't have any, and he said, oh no, he said it's only that, he said we got the memo, and it said that the Ryanair are no longer printing off
The boarding passes, right? But they make you believe that.
Yeah, they're not doing it. They're not printing off because of saving the planet, but you can still bring your own.
Yep.
You know, so it's the whole thing like.
Oh, Elena Jameson, £5 donation. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Right, I've just had it up on the screen, down to 20% battery. So you won't be with us for that much longer. In fact, let me try something. So have you got the battery pack? There.
People aren't falling
Can
for it
I
anymore.
give you that? No. Right, guys, just help me out here. Okay, so the audio's good at the moment. I'm going to have to unplug the microphone and plug the power pack in. Let me know how the sound, how different the sound is, and if it's a lot quieter, because I'm down to 20%. So I'll take that out. So I take it it's not as good now. How does that sound now, guys? How's that sounding? Is it still fine? Is it quieter now I'm out here? 5.5, is it still good? Sounds fine, just a bit less. Okay, so yeah, so when we're out on the Unite the Kingdom Day, if I can't get a solution to be able to have this plugged in and powered up at the same time, then I'm just going to have to change it a little bit. Obviously it's going to be a lot louder during that event as well. But obviously I'm sure a lot of you are going to be there as well, I would imagine. Who in the house is coming to the Unite the Kingdom on the 16th of May?
They know the extent of the pushback that they do.
Still good. Lisa. Okay, Lisa's going. Right, guys, I'm just going to have a bit of a chat with Sue. I'll leave the live stream running, okay, because I know there's 135 of you in the house. I'll just point it over there, and then you can just watch people milling around. You probably won't see this, but love what you do and stand for, Steve. Thank you, the Bird X16. I saw it. Right, guys, I'm just going to point you in this direction.
May I do a little interview with you?
Yeah, of course.
Let me just get set up.
Where do you want to do it?
Can you put your...
The signs on, yeah? Yeah, so Big Ben's in the background.
We just realised that the spot doesn't work.
Yep. Right. Yeah, it's set to 12. Right, guys, I'm just going to do a little interview with Penny, and then as part of that, I'll tell you what Penny does as well, or Penny will tell you what she does. She's come all the way over from New Zealand. Right, let me know if the sound goes different when I plug this in. Okay, we've plugged in. That should sound a lot better. Right, we've got, let's turn this round here. Might as well get that recording us as well.
What time do you end up getting down here, Steve?
Pretty much bang on 1 o'clock, I think. Just in time.
Yeah, a lot of good footage from before then, was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, I mean, you're shot.
That's all right. No, you can come in. I'm just going to do a quick interview with Penny. But you can we've got 140 people watching. Advertise your channel.
Fair play.
This is George, by the way. Tell them what you do, George.
So guys, essentially just a concerned citizen with the show Voice of the Valleys. So hints at where I'm from the Valleys in South Wales. Concerned citizen talking about a lot of important topics of the day that many people want to ignore. Want to follow me, it's on YouTube, Rumble, all of the good places. In fact, you helped me record a video when we were in the place recording the interviews the other day. So very good to follow Steve, and I think you're going to have a very good interview coming up as well. Thank you guys, and stay awake, but not in the sense that the woke communists want you awake.
So Voice of the Valleys on YouTube. Voice of the Valleys on YouTube, that's the main one. check him out, give him a follow. If right.
Go for me.
I'll do him first. Oh, yeah, of course.
Let's. So we're just going to do a little bit of an interview as well with Penny, guys. Okay.
Steve James.
How are you doing, Penny?
Lovely, so lovely to meet you on the weekend at the conference in Wales.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah, and yeah, you are England's or the UK's Billboard Chris.
Yes, well, that's what people have said that I am, so I suppose, yeah, he was the guy that I took inspiration for.
Yeah, so how long have you been standing around England with your
So it's just over a year now, so it was the Easter weekend 2025 that I started doing it. I've been planning it in advance, and it just so happened by chance to fall in line with the Supreme Court ruling in the UK as well. So I was on the way back from the board printers with these boards when a friend texted me or messaged me on WhatsApp, and he said, have you seen this, the Supreme Court ruling? So it was the hot topic in the UK when I first went out on the streets, but that was purely coincidence.
all about being in the right place at the right time?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Well, some people said it might be the wrong place at the right time, or because all the trans rights activists were up in arms about it, and I went out there amongst that kind of atmosphere. Yeah.
So you were a firefighter?
I was.
But we're not allowed to call you a fireman, is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I was 20-year firefighter. They've ingrained that language in me because they want to use gender-neutral language. If you said fireman, that in an interview, you would not pass the interview, so you wouldn't get into the fire service, or you wouldn't get promoted if you said fireman. That's how captured the fire service is.
So when you first came across that, did that kind of wake you up to what was going on, or were you already aware that this gendered language was more of a problem than most people thought?
Not when that started, but it wasn't until 2018 when a new appearance policy came out in the fire service, and it used to be about, okay, make sure you look smart, don't have red hair, polish your boots, iron your uniform, don't have tattoos on your face, don't have nose rings in, that kind of stuff. But one line within the appearance policy said, we recognise every employee's right to identify as whatever gender they wish when they come to work, and that could mean no gender at all, i.e. non-binary. And I thought, what the hell's going on here? And that's when I realised that this ideology was being infiltrated into the service.
When you came to the conference on Saturday,
Yep.
because you were obviously listening to all the different international speakers, what were some of the things that you heard that you didn't know yet?
Well, I was aware of some things, but I didn't have as much knowledge as some of the speakers, like yourself, like Rhonda, and all the other people. I knew that this was not a grassroots movement. I knew that it was being imposed top down from globalist organisations. 1 second, sorry about that. But they actually name the organisations, and I was aware of them, but I didn't know to what extent. So it's predominantly coming from, the tentacles are everywhere, but from the United Nations and their offshoots like UNESCO, the World Health Organization, but also there's the funding from the global foundations, the Rockefeller Foundation. I didn't realise that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation had spent something like $2.3 billion pushing this ideology into colleges. That was a new one on me. I knew George Soros and his Open Society Foundation was doing it. The Ford Foundation was another one. So yeah, I've got to do more research.
Follow the money.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
It's always been my thing, follow the money. Now, it's really interesting to be here with you in England and you're English and talking about gender ideology, which is on your sign, because you know who the grandfather of gender ideology is.
Yeah, well, I always thought it was John Money, so he was the guy that came up. I know that he was kind of like closely linked to Alfred Kinsey, and I didn't know a lot about Alfred Kinsey until this weekend, but John Money was the first guy in the 1950s that coined the term gender ideology, or gender identity, I think.
And you know where he was born?
He was born in New Zealand, he was, and then he went over to the United States, and he was I would say studying, but he was a professor in the Johns Hopkins University, wasn't he? And his whole idea was if you could socialise a child under the age of 2 in a different gender, and they would grow up to accept that. And of course, he was the experiment on the Reamer family. Bruce Reamer had a terrible accident when they tried to circumcise him, burnt his penis off. His family didn't know what to do, and they heard John Money speaking on the TV, and he said, you know, well, they thought he was the answer to their dreams, if not dreams, but answer to their young child's problems. And he said, bring up Bruce as Brenda. That's what he said. But obviously Bruce was a boy, he wouldn't accept it. John Money's theory, he thought that he could prove this theory, but it failed dramatically, but he told the world it was a success.
And like Kinsey as well, these people were tipped up by the Rockefellers
and they were funded.
Through the media and through the publishing organisations and through the universities. And yes, once you see it, you can't unsee it, and so you can be really clear in your language. So what do you find as far as when you're walking around with your billboards on? Are you mostly getting support, or are you mostly getting ambivalence, or are you mostly getting
It's a mixture.
What do you get?
Okay, so the question basically was, what's the ratio of pro to con of people on the streets? Who's for me, who's against me? So Billboard Chris says it's 9 to 1. He reckons 90% are in favour. It's a bit different for me in the UK. I've tried to work it out. I think it's somewhere between 70-30, 60-40 in my favour. But these are, I do it a little bit different than Chris. I've chosen the trans colours, but put a gender critical message on it. So they think they're approaching an ally from a distance, okay, and as they come closer, I can see the cogs whirring and then the facial expression changing when they see the gender critical message. So maybe that's why the ratio of people that are against me is a little bit higher than what Chris experiences. But they're there. These somebody called them weirdo magnets, and they certainly are that.
Weirdo magnets. Well, I thank you for what you're doing. So
yeah.
If we're not following you online, where do we go?
So if you go to YouTube, that's my main channel. It's Edge of the Matrix. I'm also on X as Edge of the Matrix, and I do occasionally post on TikTok some shorts, but I'm almost about to lose the channel for breaking community guidelines for being gender critical. It's quite a difficult one being on TikTok.
When you see the crap that they do have on
Yeah,
right?
of course, yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
lovely to meet you, and we'll stay in touch. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Penny. Do you want to say hello and talk to people that are watching on live on Edge of the Matrix? This is Penny all the way from New Zealand.
Hi.
Tell us about your organisation, Penny.
Sure, so in 2023 I formed an organisation called Let Kids Be Kids, and so the intention of Let Kids Be Kids is really to inform and empower. So we're informing and empowering parents as to what's going on, and then once they know what's going on, what do you do about it? So we do this in a different kind of a sense, where we go and do things like going to markets and family days, and we have a little tent there with our flyers and our things, and then we try and encourage people to wear shirts that say Let Kids Be Kids, and we call those our conversation starters. And even we have lanyards, because people who work in organisations where they have to wear a lanyard, and the Pride guys, they give out their Pride ones, and so we say, well, we're a Let Kids Be Kids one, and then that's a conversation starter. So we're just about trying to have those conversations one-on-one, and also to empower parents to look into this stuff and to re-establish, if you haven't, a really strong connection with your child, and remind the child that you are the person that is first and foremost in their lives to be a trustworthy person, because the education system is actually trying to undermine the relationship between parent and child. Yeah, that's a really big part of it. So
Okay, and the website is letkidsbekids.nz.
that's correct.
Yeah,
and we're
NZ for
online
New
as well.
Zealand.
We're on TikTok, Facebook, everything, YouTube, and also I do my own independent research that goes a little bit beyond that. Let Kids Be Kids too, and that's on Penny Marie, PennyMarie.nz, and I've got lots of YouTube, and I interview MPs and different things like that. So I can't
Excellent
do what you're
work,
doing,
yeah.
I have it up here and you have it here. So,
Yeah, brilliant. Excellent work. Thank you,
so
Penny.
much, Steve. Cheers.
Awesome. Right. Okay, guys, it flashed up on the screen that I'm down to like 10% battery again now, so I'm going to have to knock the live stream off. Thank you for joining us, really do appreciate it. We wasn't quite sure whether we were going to get here today, that's why I hadn't advertised it. It's been a mad rush. Sue and I have been in Wales all weekend. We came down on Friday. Was in Kurten, which is very close to Newport, for the conference. So check out publicchildprotectionwales.org. Their annual conference was in Newport, Kurten, Newport. All those speeches, including Penny's, they're all going to come probably over the next month. I'm not going to flood the channel with them every day. So they're going to come. We all got together in a barn somewhere in the Welsh Valleys yesterday. I don't know where it was. And I interviewed all the speakers as well. So those interviews are going to come for the channel. This morning, so we slept in the van last night. We've got a camper van. Come on, Sue, come on. I'm just saying goodbye. I'm just saying goodbye. So here she is.
Cold.
We slept in the camper van last night.
Cold.
Sue, just 3 weeks out of a hip operation.
Don't tap it.
I'm tapping it. We got up early.
You then, but I just sent it to his mum before, and she said, "Thank you so much. You've absolutely made his day."
Brilliant! Awesome. That was Zen, and the young lad that's not taking any nonsense in his school. So yeah, so we slept in the van last night somewhere in the Welsh Valleys. We was up early this morning, and then it's quite a distance. I didn't realise from the mid Wales to London. So we battled all down the M25 and all the road.
It wasn't too bad.
It was enough. Yeah, we got to where we were staying. We were in a place where we can camp in the van, and then we had to jump on the overground and the underground.
Overground, there's a song.
I know, there's a song about that. And then I think there was a pretty serious thing. They said there was a passenger incident and severe delays on the Westminster line. So
Jubilee.
On the Jubilee line, was it? And that was to Westminster Station. We think there was a jumper on the train or something on the track.
Could have been anything,
That's
it?
what normally happens.
No, I know.
That's
I
what they
know
call.
that, but...
So we had to get off at Embankment.
And then we had to walk.
And then we had to walk all the way here with Sue with a poorly hip.
Catching my surgery sites with his hand.
It took quite a bit to get here, but we're here, and we give you Public Child Protection Wales. Yeah. So
good weekend. I've enjoyed it.
It's good. So stay tuned for all the videos to come. There's one final video from out on the streets of Manchester last weekend, so that's going to come, and then there's going to be loads of these videos, from the conference. So that's all to come, and then I'm going to have to get back out on the streets at some point because I know you all like that. Keep spreading the word. Keep fighting the good fight, okay? The more that we raise awareness, the more that we're going to end this madness.
Absolutely.
Anything to finish on, Sue?
No, just, speak out. It's people are here, they're speaking out about things. If you're a parent, don't let this bullshit go, just
unchallenged.
Go unchallenged.
Yeah.
Challenge the schools.
Yeah.
Take your kids out if you feel they're being, they're being indoctrinated by this crap. You've got to start speaking out. Essentially, that's what it's about.
And thank you, guys. Thanks so much for all your support. Really appreciate it. I'll see you again soon. Bye now.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay, we're done.